Hello, and welcome everyone to another episode of Riz Talks. I'm your host, Riz. I'm glad to have you join me today as we explore how some people live in an alternate reality of the world around them, what some call La La Land. These could be billionaires, politicians, even your next door neighbor. No, they are not characters in Sims. And there are those who live in augmented reality, changing narratives, telling lies that they sometimes actually believe. It's all a perception of their reality. Not the digital augmentation with use of technology, smart devices, virtual reality, and so on. Remember, our motto is to think again about our views, look at the world around us, and see what impacts humanity. It's time to reconsider who are we really? Do the things we hold to be true even matter in the grand scheme of humanity? We're talking about alternate and augmented reality, not just the fancy tech that lets you see digital dinosaurs in your living room, but the much more dangerous kind. The reality where up is down, facts are optional, and the person screaming on your television believes their own nonsense with the conviction of a martyr. Today's episode is titled Alternate and Augmented Reality When Truth Becomes Optional, exploring the fascinating and troubling concept of alternate and augmented realities, both the technological kind and the metaphorical kinds we construct in our minds. Science fiction author Philip K. Dick, who once said, reality is that which, when you stop believing in it, doesn't go away. That's the problem. Whether you believe in gravity or not, step off a roof and see what happens. But in the world of politics, social media, and billionaires with too much time on their hands, people have constructed alternate realities where the laws of physics and logic simply do not apply. Here is a number that should make you question everything you see online. According to a 2023 study by MIT researchers, false news stories on X, formerly Twitter, are 70% more likely to be retweeted than true stories, which means it takes the truth about 6 times longer to reach people than a lie. And this is a 3-year-old study. Now it's worse. We are not just living in an alternate reality, we are building it brick by digital brick with every click and share. Let us start with a historical perspective. The idea of living in an alternate reality has been there for a while. In fact, it's ancient. Plato, in his book Republic, told the allegory of the cave. Prisoners are chained in a cave facing a wall. Behind them is a fire, and between the fire and the prisoners are puppeteers casting shadows. The prisoners watch the shadows their entire lives. They name them, they create stories about them. They believe the shadows are reality. Then one prisoner is freed. He turns around, he sees the fire, the puppeteers, the real objects casting the shadows. He is blinded by the light. He goes back to tell the others, and they laugh at him. They call him crazy. They prefer their comfortable shadows. That's the word we're talking about. That was written almost 2,500 years ago. Today we have traded the cave wall for a smartphone screen. Fast forward to the 19th century. A British scientist named Samuel Robotham published a pamphlet called Static Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe. He argued that the earth is flat. He held public debates. He attracted followers. This was the birth of the modern flat earth movement. At the time, it was a fringe belief. Then came the internet. A 2018 YouGov poll found that only 66% of young Americans aged between 18 and 24 are certain the earth is round. So, 2/3 believe it, but then there's 1/3 who disagree. That means 1 in 3 young Americans is either unsure or believes the earth is flat. A 2019 survey in Brazil found similar numbers. This isn't stupidity, this is willful immersion in an alternate reality. Orson Welles' radio adaptation of The War of the Worlds caused nationwide panic in 1938. Thousands of listeners believed that Martians were actually invading New Jersey, despite announcements at the beginning, middle, and end that it was fiction. People called police, packed their cars, and fled their homes. The power of a compelling narrative delivered through a trusted medium can override any fact. Today, that medium is not radio, it's not television, it's a personalized feed that shows you exactly what you want to believe. Let's get specific, because generalities are safe, and safety is not our brand. Here are a few examples of false claims from people with extreme views. Claims that have been fact checked, debunked, and yet continue to circulate. In 2020, a conspiracy theory emerged claiming that a secret cabal of global elites planned to use the COVID-19 pandemic to control the world. And in 2021, a YouGov poll found that 28% of Americans believed it. And among Republicans, the number was 40%. So in 2021, a video went viral claiming that COVID-19 vaccines contain microchips that would allow the government to track people. The claim that the 2020 election was stolen is another one that has been debunked by over 60 court cases, multiple recounts, and audits in every contested state. Yet, a 2023 CNN poll found that 66% of Republicans still believe Biden's victory was illegitimate. And that might be true even today. That is not a disagreement over policy. That is living in an alternate reality. QAnon is a far-right conspiracy theory that claims a deep state cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles is running the world. Remember Jeffrey Epstein? And that Donald Trump is secretly fighting them. Yet a 2021 survey found that 15%, 1/5, of Americans, and out of which 23% of Republicans, agreed with that statement. Have you seen those guys? That is why MAGA were keen on the Epstein files. Now, here is the darkly funny part. These alternate realities are not random. They follow a pattern. They always involve a powerful enemy. They always offer a simple explanation for complex problems. And they always make the believer feel special. They are the few who know the truth, the secret. As the philosopher and psychologist William James wrote, a great many people think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices. Looking at the crystal ball for future projections of where we are headed, we are already seeing the emergence of augmented reality and virtual reality technologies. By 2030, it is estimated that this market will be worth over $500 billion. This is companies betting their future on AI, metaverse, a persistent shared virtual world where people will work, play, and socialize. Imagine this. You put on a pair of AR glasses. You look at a politician giving a speech. Your glasses connected to your personalized algorithms overlay a truth rating in real time. But the rating is based not on facts, but on what you already believe. If you trust the politician, the glasses show a green check mark. If you don't, they show a red cross. You are no longer seeing the speech. You're seeing your own bias augmented. This is how the world turns today. Now add deepfakes, AI-generated videos that can make anyone say anything. In 2023, a deepfake video of Ukrainian President Zelensky telling his soldiers to surrender went viral. It was crude and easily debunked, but deepfakes now are indistinguishable from real footage. What happens when a video emerges of a world leader declaring war and no one can tell if it's real? We have been warned of truth decay, the diminishing role of facts and analysis in public life. We are not sure about facts and stop critical thinking. The solution is not simple, but it is possible. One, we must teach media literacy in every school. Learn how to evaluate sources, check claims, and understand algorithms. Two, we must demand transparency from tech platforms. The European Union's Digital Services Act is a step in that direction. Three, we must rebuild trust in institutions. When people stop believing the news, the government, and science, they will believe anything, including the most absurd conspiracy theories. Truth is built through transparency, accountability, and results. It cannot be faked. So we've learned living in alternate realities is not new. And a lot of politicians and billionaires and some crazy people live in their own world, far from reality. The problem is accelerated dramatically in the age of social media and personalized algorithms for the rest of the world. False news spreads faster and further than the truth. Millions of people believe in conspiracy theories not because they are stupid, but because the information environment has been weaponized. The deep fakes make the problem exponentially worse. We are heading towards a world where truth is not just contested but potentially irrelevant, where each person lives in their own personalized reality and consensus becomes impossible. So, what is the danger? The danger is if we cannot agree on what happened, we cannot govern ourselves. If we cannot agree on the science, we cannot respond to pandemics, climate change, and so on. If we cannot agree on election results, we cannot have peaceful transfers of power, and so on. The alternate reality is not a harmless hobby, it is a slow moving existential threat. Here is my challenge to you. The next time you see a headline that makes you angry or a claim that confirms everything you already believe, talk to someone who sees the world differently. Not to argue, but to understand their point of view. Who are we really? Are we the prisoners in the cave? Or are we brave enough to turn around and face the fire? Thank you for joining me on this episode of Risk Talks. Are we thinking? Are we going to leave this world better than we found it? It's now time to act. So please share the message with others. Think again, challenge ideas, join the conversation, and subscribe. This is Risk Talks. Be curious, be kind, and come back for more.